Hey everyone, my name is Dr. Dara. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about, I'm welcoming you actually to the Growing Up series, The Journey to Emotional Maturity. Now, the Lord put this on my heart I don't know, a few months ago, and I have a bunch of topics I've written down and ready to go to share with you all. And just some background about this. One, if you know me, you know I love the whole concept of self-development, self-growth, emotional maturity, spiritual maturity. I'm always looking for ways to grow personally, and it comes inevitably in our relationships, our friendships in life, and just seasons of life. And then I learn a lot from my students and my clients. I'm constantly getting new information and new insights and perspectives about relationships and about how to have healthy relationships. And so I just feel that there's some things that I want to share, being led and also wanting to see people have the healthy relationships that they desire. So this is the background for the Growing Up series, and I hope that you enjoy. So today's topic, I am going to be talking about, why do we lash out on people who are closest to us? Now, this question comes up a lot in therapy. People ask, why am I like this? And, I think in like real world settings, I think it's very normal, because one of the things I've thought about and just doing some research on this is that it's easy. It's a simple answer. It's easy to lash out on people who are close to us, just due to close proximity. And also, even though it's hurtful and painful, to go through some of that, there is also a sense of safety, so a sense of some sort of connection, right, in order to be able to do that. Because normally we're probably a little more hesitant or avoidant to share, with people that we don't know how they're going to react. So the fact that someone close to you is lashing out, that is like the positive side, even though I know that's super hard to like actually identify. But another thing too is that sometimes it's difficult to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is a very trendy word. We heard, just based off of Brene Brown and other people's like research about how important and essential that is in relationships. But we don't know how to do it. I think it's hard, and especially if you don't have a model, you didn't have an opportunity to like learn how to regulate and learn how to process emotions and how to communicate clearly. Like it's gonna be hard. It's not impossible, it would just be hard and challenging to achieve that. So I think just kind of keeping some of those things in mind about why you might lash out. And of course you have to think about yourself individually, about what else is going on and why that exists within you as well. Now I want to just share a few thoughts about what to do differently. One thing I want to address is the having entitlements of people. I think sometimes we feel like when you go back and you explore your reasons why, why am I lashing out? What got me this angry? Sometimes we have entitlements with our relationships, about people in our lives. And a psychological definition around entitlement is just feeling like you have preferential like treatment and resource, like you're entitled to that from a person. You feel justified in asking that. And again, the psychology behind that, and my theory as well, is it is connected to me back to attachment, because I think sometimes that people are looking for things that they lacked or did not receive from their caregivers, and sometimes that comes out in our adult relationships, our adult romantic relationships. And the only people we're entitled to like love and like care is our caregivers, and then anybody that we commit to, in relationship with. And so, but even that looks different, right? Like your parents have a very specific role of providing like nurturance and like care and responsiveness to your emotions. Like they're supposed to be those first teachers. And so when we lack that, we can develop some entitled attitudes. And so I want you to just explore that. Think about where that might come from with you. Is that your story? Is that something that you feel like you might be looking at? And alternatively, you can look at people as gifts, right? Like these people in your lives, no one is entitled to tell you anything or make you feel like you belong or that you're accepted. Like there's definitely ways that we can go about that in friendship, but as far as being entitled, I think it will help if you reverse that perspective and think about how these are gifts. Friendships are gifts. What I know I'm gifted to know is it's a blessing to know, right? It's a blessing to be a part. It's a blessing to be included, to be thought of, right? That's birthed out of the gift of friendship, right? But if you have that entitlement of like, I should know, or you should be communicating everything with me, or, if you heard about this and then you didn't tell me about that, then why, like just those like, and then you have those sharp, like angry reactions about different things. Then you just want to examine that. And again, this is very nuanced because clearly you're listening and your circumstance. I don't, right? And so you have to go back and evaluate and see like, okay, how does this align with me? Where is this showing up in my life? Do I need to talk to someone else about, the details of my circumstance and what I'm sitting with, because everything is so nuanced. And so just some broader terms and things to think about, maybe to research a little deeper. And then lastly, my suggestion would be to challenge yourself to communicate with yourself first. I think if you can talk to yourself and kind of self-regulate, which I'll have a whole nother video on that, but like if you can work on like self-regulation, and what that means is just finding a place to slow down and reflect on what you're experiencing in your body and what thoughts are coming to mind, but mainly what's happening in your body, because that will help you locate like emotions. And so once you identify that, like I feel hurt, I feel disappointed, right? Not just I'm good, I'm fine, but I feel pain, I feel embarrassed, I feel let down, right? Like going through those emotions, then you will be able to have something written or documented or recorded so that is what you share back with that person when you are ready to have a conversation, and not you didn't do this, or blaming language, use statements, just kind of getting in the way of the clarity that you're looking for, right? And that person will obviously be looking for as well. So yeah, we'll talk more about communication, but yeah, those are some suggestions and tips. Again, why do we lash out on people? Consider how you think about your circumstances. Feel free to reach out, and if you have any follow-up questions, I'd love to see in the comments. But also, if you need professional help, you're looking for a mental health provider, I'm a therapist, and I'm in private practice, and I'm always happy to work and assist with you. So I will see you next time. Thank you for watching.